For our lesson this evening, we've been studying a lot about the fruit of the Spirit with our elementary kids. And this week we were actually supposed to be out at a nursing home doing some singing and stuff. That's definitely not going to happen. But we're going to go ahead and move on with our next fruit of the Spirit, which is going to be the fruit of kindness. Okay? Which kindness is something that we could definitely use a lot of as we have a lot of things changing right now. And if you've been out of the house to do any of your shopping or need to pick up things, something that I've heard a lot from people is we're not being very kind to one another. So what I want you to do first is just take a moment, define or tell your parent, tell your sibling, whoever's there with you, what is kindness? How do you show kindness to someone? So take a moment, discuss. Did you come up with anything? You have an answer? Hopefully you do. I'd love to hear that answer at some point. So if your parent has my text number, you can shoot a quick video and send that to me. Or maybe you're watching in our live stream and you can put it there in the chat next to the side, get a parent's help to do that with you. Go ahead and let us know. What is kindness? What were some ways that you thought about showing kindness to the people around you? So we've talked about love and joy and peace and patience. And now we're talking about this idea of kindness. So we won't ever have kindness all on its own. We'll have kindness with our love, and we'll have love in our kindness, and all these other combinations of the things as we go. Now, I want to pause real quick. I'll be uploading a video later of this memory verse, but I wanted to let you know what our memory verse is going to be for this section about kindness. And it comes from Colossians chapter 3, verse 12. It says, "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience." All right? So we'll be breaking that down over the next couple weeks to know exactly what that's talking about and how it kind of applies to our life. But I want you to just for another second, let me know when you woke up this morning, just kind of holler out yes or no if you put these things on in the morning, okay? I'm going to go through this list. First thing, did everyone put on a shirt this morning? What about some pants? Maybe socks? Shoes? Depends on if you went outside. Did everyone put on their underwear this morning? I hope so. What about kindness? Did you put on kindness this morning? Now, that may sound strange compared to some of the other things we were talking about, but that verse we just read, it says we put on kindness. So it's something that it's almost part of our morning routine. As we're getting dressed, as we're getting ready for the day, we're going to think about how are we going to put on kindness. So the book puts it this way. God wants kindness to be a habit. He wants it to be so easy for you to put on in the mornings that you don't even think about it. The same way you would put on your clothes. But what is kindness once you put it on? Kindness is showing someone that they are valuable to you by how you treat them. So especially the closer you are to someone, the more you try to get to know them so that you can treat them in a way that shows that they are valuable to you. So here's kind of another breakdown, and we'll go over this in more detail in the coming weeks, but here's a quick run through. Number one, we don't want to be proud. So we want to include other people. We want them to know that we don't value ourselves as more important than they are. We need to be gentle with the people around us. So when someone is hurting, we offer them comfort. Maybe right now, there's a lot of people we know who are hurting from one way or the other. How can you show the gentleness and kindness to them? Be patient with each other. Again, very applicable right now. If you've been outside, there's a lot of impatient people. There's a lot of people who are scared, and that makes them even less patient than they normally would be. So maybe instead of being frustrated with the people around us, we could be more patient with them. So these are things that are sounding simple. They're something that we should be able to do on a regular basis, but they can be super hard for us, especially when things are as crazy as they are right now. But if we think about these things every day, if we practice being kind every day, just like it's natural to wake up in the morning and change our clothes and get dressed for the rest of the day, we'll think about putting on kindness in that same way. It will be part of our clothing that we wear out with us no matter who we are around. Let's think about some ways that we can be more kind to the people we do happen to interact with. And maybe that means we specifically are going to reach out to some friends. I know I've heard specifically from like Judah and Asher, when we're at home right now, we've got the Marco Polo app, or we've got FaceTime, and we've been sending out messages, and we've had friends that are sending us messages as well. That's really a kind thing to do for our friends. So let's find some ways to be kind to one another, not just today, but in these weeks and days ahead.